So take a look at so Willie Snead. We'll see him game time decision potentially. What's it like being in a fantasy football league with Michael Fabiano? I was here on Thursday when the Ezekiel Elliott news broke that he was suspended again. I went right to a computer, said maybe Alfred Morris is available. Who picked up Alfred Morris in that league? That guy who is undefeated in our league, the Allison Chains Fantasy Football League with Jerry Cantrell and the guys.
Maybe
and
lost Zeke. We'll see.
Your buddy The Miz. Well, you drafted him too, so
I know.
so I'm not feeling too bad for you. Give me some starts and sits for Week 6, please, sir.
Well, we just saw Matthew Stafford on the board. He's going to play. I would start him against the Saints in what could be a high-scoring game. In his last 2 games against New Orleans, averaging over 25 fantasy points. Very solid. At running back, in the same game, I like Mark Ingram against the Lions. Everyone's talking about Alvin Kamara and how his value rises with the Adrian Peterson trade, but Ingram does too, and he leads the Saints' backfield in both snaps and touches. I start him in PPR and standard formats. And Larry Fitzgerald, Kurt's pal, last week didn't put up a big stat line, still has had 3 straight double-digit PPR performances, and the Buccaneers, well, they have given up the most fantasy points to wide receivers. Players I'm sitting, well, Eli Manning has lost. Odell Beckham Jr.,
everybody,
Brandon Marshall, Sterling Shepard, and he gets to play in Denver, Rich. So forget about that. I want nothing to do with that matchup. Not many Giants you can trust in this one. And speaking of Adrian Peterson, I would sit him against the Buccaneers. Since last year, he's averaging fewer than 2.5 yards per carry, and the Cardinals' offensive line, one of the worst run-blocking units in the league. And finally, if you're in a standard scoring league, I would beware Demaryius Thomas. This year, the Giants have only given up 1 double-digit performance to a number 1 wide receiver in standard leagues. That's Mike Evans. The other 4 number 1s have averaged fewer than 5 fantasy points per game. It's hard to sit DT, but this is not a good matchup.